Welcome back to the Everything Goes Podcast with your host, TAK. A weekly podcast with the latest sports news, the hottest of the hot takes, and the best predictions you can get. Now, Chris, Ace, take it away.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen, to the episode 190 of the Everything Goes Podcast with TAK. I could not be more excited to be here today. Week 3 is almost in the books as we got Monday Night Football, 2 games again, which I don't know if that's normal yet or not. I don't know if I realized that last year or not necessarily liking it. Derek Carr is week to week with an AC sprain in his shoulder. Thank the good old Lord that he's week to week. We will dive into that. Is the Dallas Cowboys who everybody thought they were? We will definitely dive down into Jerry World and talk about that. Kelsey's jersey stock is rising through the roof as all the new Swifties are coming into the football world, as she was there at the game, fired up. And is Justin Jefferson the next Calvin Johnson in his career with how bad Minnesota's defense is playing right now? We are definitely going to dive into that. Guys, I am happy to have you guys here. This is episode 190, 10 more away from 200. How is your Monday doing today?
Pretty good. Major holiday for us Jewish folks, Yom Kippur, so I was fasting most of the day, so excited to get out here and talk ball. Look at Chris.
I love the Jews.
Chris is sleeveless right now, and just I didn't realize you were that tatted up.
Oh, yeah.
But regardless, how are you doing?
It's Monday. You know, it was a bad fantasy football week.
Terrible fantasy football week for me, man.
I'm a huge Baker Mayfield fan right now. I need Baker to go out there and ball out against the Eagles.
It would make the NFC South look good, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. I need Mixon to get me like 40 points tonight, like Mostert did for the Miami Dolphins.
I don't need Mixon. I need T. Higgins.
Good luck with that one.
I'm playing against Mixon. Gosh.
Good luck with that one.
Sorry,
guys,
it's good. I mean, it's fall. You know, the weather's changing.
That's right. It is fall. I could not even tell you.
It was 85 degrees here today, so you got to love fall in Colorado. So, you know, Dion and the Colorado Buffaloes got the little...
It's okay. That's okay. You know why it's okay? Because I picked them to lose to Oregon and to beat USC this week in their home stadium. They'll be back in the rankings. I think more people are worried about beating Dion, like he said, than actually beating the Colorado.
I don't like the circus. I don't like the circus.
I don't even necessarily think Dion's running a circus. Like, I think that he genuinely wants to win, and I think people fall into the hype with him, with how big he is, and it's all about how can we get under Dion's skin.
He does, but he's an artist.
I was fine with. I was on board with the Colorado Buffaloes until they played Colorado State University and all the nonsense that went on. They had Lil Wayne come out the tunnel with them rapping. They had GZ or whatever his name is, Escape. I don't know the freaking rappers' names, but they had
Offset.
Master P there, Wu-Tang, The Rock was there. You know, the stuff that goes on in the locker room, it's not a normal locker room, and I'm not a big fan of that. I'm not a big fan of these guys wearing these big chains all iced out. That's why the nil thing is not going to work in my books. You got guys that are wearing it, and you have guys that don't have nothing. You know, you got Shador out there with his Rolex on, showing his grills and freaking putting his watch up to the crowd. That's ridiculous, man. You know what? You've been sacked 15 times in 3 games, man. You're not that good.
It's not his fault. That's not his fault. He's still
he
throwing
holds the ball
a lot
too
of passes.
He holds the ball too long.
Nobody's open.
Let him go to the NFL like that and stand in that pocket like that, and you have an Aaron Donald coming at you like that. You won't be raising his watch in the air no more.
I think they'll be just fine. I think he's going to be a good quarterback. I think the offensive line definitely needs some help.
Well, according to Dion, you better get us now because this is the worst we're going to be, according to Dion.
I agree. Well, I think we'll bounce them back. But hey, let's dive into it. There's a lot to talk about before Monday Night Football comes on. Obviously, we won't be done before that. We're going to start off big here. The Dallas Cowboys. Biggest news on the week. Let me finish. I'm not going to bash them or anything. I just got some stuff to say. Dallas Cowboys, obviously 28-16. Huge news going into that game. And I feel terrible. Diggs out all year with the ACL, right?
Yeah.
I feel terrible for that. Obviously, top 5 defense. You guys have top 3 defense, honestly, if not the best defense you guys have in the league.
Well, We allowed
things
176 yards in 2 games. So
that's some things I'm going to ask you. Obviously, like, Dallas is one of the Super Bowl favorites this year coming in. And some questions I want to ask you, and for you to answer for the Cowboy fans out there. Do you think, everyone's talking about this Dallas defense, and I agree, Dallas's defense is so good for them. It's the offense. It's the offense that scares me. Are they going to be able to get it? Has the offense been tested? Not been tested? Your red zone last year with Kellen Moore was 85%. Dak went 1 for 5 in the red zone yesterday. What are you feeling as a Dallas Cowboys fan? Obviously, it's still early.
The worst thing about the Cowboys is nobody knew that they were going to have 3 offensive starting linemen out. The only one we were worried about was Tyler Smith, who played. No one knew Tyron Smith was going to be out. No one knew Bayadish was going to be out. No one knew that Zach Martin was going to be out. That's huge, because you see that line they had in yesterday, they were great at blocking for the run. They weren't great at blocking for the pass. They put Adoga on the outside, who has been playing guard this whole time. They should have kicked Tyler Smith out to play left tackle, which they didn't. This offense, they have to fix what they're doing in the red zone. 11 times they've been in the red zone, and they only scored 3 touchdowns this year. They were in the red zone. Let me just ask something real quick.
Let me ask something real quick while you're talking about that. While you're talking about that. Last year, everybody was like, Kellen Moore is not the guy. He's not the playmaker. Like I just said, you 85% in the red zone last year with Kellen Moore, and you can see how he is thriving in the offense with the Chargers. Obviously, the defense is struggling with the Chargers. Mike McCarthy comes out. He wants to be that guy to call the plays this year. If he's going to be on the hot seat, he's calling the plays this year. How confident are you with Mike McCarthy calling the plays this year with Dak?
I'm confident because they're giving Dak a lot of leeway this year to change plays at the line. The problem with McCarthy is he said already he doesn't want to be the number 1 offense. He wants to be ball control. That's what he wants to do. He wants to give his defense time to rest. So he wants to run the ball. The problem is they get into the red zone. Before Kellen would spread the field out, Dak's not a threat to use his legs no more, which is an issue because Dak, when he was younger, used to run for touchdowns. You can't get in the red zone, have no receivers, go tight end sets, go run, and then expect to pass on 3rd down. Everybody and their mother knows you have to pass on 3rd down. Now they're going to play for the 3rd down pass, and that's the issue. We're not taking passes into the end zone and have these guys that can jump like, Gallup. CeeDee Lamb yesterday had a ball thrown at him, but instead of going for the ball, he was looking for the penalty. Dallas's biggest problem on defense, too, is they're over-aggressive. Over-aggressiveness can kill you, and that's what they did yesterday. When you have running quarterbacks, Dobbs had 2 for 51 at one point. When you have over aggressive lines that come out wide, opens up holes that I could run through. It's bad. It's bad.
Yeah, and this is not a shot at Arizona. I mean, Arizona had 185 rushing yards to start the game. Connor, as a captain, played well. Offensive line played well. Dobbs is showing that he can at least play in the NFL. I think they've played
competitive. They've been competitive the first 3 weeks.
I think what is scary for the Dallas Cowboys is Dak going to be the guy to get us through the playoffs? 1 touchdown going into this game, a defense that nobody can name a player on besides Budda Baker, who didn't even play yesterday. So it's games like this that you look at and it's like, how can we improve like this? Because when it comes down to playing the Niners or someone else in the NFC, like the Eagles in the playoffs, are we going to be able to thrive and because you can't always just rely on the defense. You have to put some points up at some point.
We got our first test in 2 weeks. We played the 49ers in San Francisco.
Yeah.
And then we go to the Chargers right after that the next week. Dallas they have to give. The thing is I think they're overcompensating. They're trying to fix the problems that they had last year with the interceptions. And by doing that, they're doing little dumps, little dinks and dunks all over the place. Average air yards is 8. That's nothing. You got to get the ball down the field. You got to get these tight ends down the seams. And we're not doing that. And if we don't do that, we're going to be in trouble because we can't just ride this defense. This defense is going to get burned out. And the problem is the defense carried us the first 2 weeks and our offense did nothing yesterday. 4 trips in the red zone in the second half. We could have won that game and we ended up just with our best player right now on offense is our field goal kicker.
Yeah.
And isn't it funny? We all doubted this kid going into the season. We doubted this kid saying, we don't know if we have a kicker. And this kid missed his first kick and hasn't missed a kick since.
Yeah, definitely tough losing Diggs early in the week, who is a huge captain, huge emotional loss going into that game. But there's, like you said, there's a lot of talent in that defense to step up. Parsons only had 1 sack and he was one-on-one most of those plays. So, I mean, hats off to Arizona. They came out and played.
And the other thing, too, is you can't have 11 freaking penalties in the first half.
Yeah, that's killer. That's a killer. Ace, anything you have to say about the Dallas Cowboys or Cardinals before we move on?
No, they just Dallas has played well, but this game just reminded me of the Vikings season in a nutshell. Just sloppy.
Yeah.
Not so much turnovers, but missed opportunities.
It all comes down to this. It comes down to this. Is Dak the $55 million quarterback that they're going to be paying him? So this is your chance. If Dak can't carry this team and they're going to put little protective blinders on him so he can't throw the ball around like he wants to, then you got to get rid of him.
And last thing I'll say about Dak before moving on, because I have what's the word I'm looking for? Vouched for Dak. I have backed him up a lot of times. This is a game that you definitely look at and say, is Dak our guy going forward? A team that we should have destroyed.
Wouldn't it be funny? We get Zeke next week and Zeke runs for 140 yards on us.
I think it would. I think teams are going to look at the Arizona game and say, we need to run the ball until Dallas stops us.
Happened a few years ago when Denver beat us.
All right. Speaking of Denver, moving on, amazing high scoring game. You have Denver versus the Miami Dolphins, who in my opinion is the best team in the AFC, who none of us picked to win the division besides, I think, Dad. Best offense probably in the NFL. 70-20. I'm going to say it again for you those that didn't hear about it. 70-20. Now, here's where it's funny at. A lot of people here are going to blame Russ. It's not Russ's fault. It's not Russ's fault by a landslide. This defense for the Denver Broncos has the guys, has the talent to be a good defense. And it's not. It's not. Russ threw for 306 yards and a touchdown. Russ
is in the top 10 in quarterback efficiency.
Yeah, and everyone's going to start blaming Russ because you see, Miami scoring 70 points and Russ isn't. But I mean, you have to look at your defense and say, 70 points. And here's where it gets interesting too: is people are going to say, "Oh, Tua's only playing well because Tyreek Hill." I mean, look at the stats. The running back, a chain, 203 yards rushing with 4 total touchdowns, 2 rushing, 2 receiving. Mostert, 4 touchdowns. I mean, Tyreek Hill only had 1 touchdown. Waddle didn't even play. They were 1 field goal away from breaking history for points scored in a game.
They're the fastest team in football too. They really are. They're such a fast team. They hold the fastest times for runs and stuff. Like in the top 5, I think 4 of them are Miami Dolphins. They have a rookie sensational running back who is just as amazing as their starter. Just Vance Joseph. The biggest problem Sean Payton did was fire the defensive coordinator from last year that had them rolling, and he's in Miami now. And they brought Vance Joseph back, who doesn't know couldn't do anything.
In Miami?
That's where Denver's defensive coordinator went. He went to Miami.
Biggest problem for Sean Payton too, and I love Sean Payton. Running his mouth a lot. Said Tua by this point in the season will be being replaced by Teddy Bridgewater because he'd be playing bad. And Teddy Bridgewater, Tua definitely must have heard that. I mean, do I have it written down here? Tua had 158 completion percentage. It's just, and we can all sit here and say Tua is an MVP right now if he stays healthy.
Yeah, and he did an amazing freaking throw yesterday. He did a no look freaking throw. They're just rolling right now. They're rolling
inside the goal line or the 5-yard line shovel pass.
The no look. Broncos, I think they play the Bears next week, so they could definitely get a win and start to turn this around. But
talk about sucky teams.
Something definitely has to change for Denver because it is going down very quickly. Next game we're going to talk about, Ace, your Minnesota Vikings versus the Chargers. Chargers are now 1-2. Vikings dropped to 0-3 in a tough division right now. 28-24. Ace, quick stat for you. 1 possession games last year. Your Minnesota Vikings were 11-0. They're 0-3 this year. Can we please talk about Kirk Cousins? Because you ain't getting any better. Vikings fans out there saying, let's sell Kirk because we're going to get a better quarterback. Who are you going to get? Patrick Mahomes? That's better. Kirk is averaging over 350 passing yards a game right now. What's hurting you? 7 fumbles yesterday.
Hawkinson coughed one up on the first drive when we were driving.
What's tough for Minnesota is they are ruining Kirk Cousins and Justin Jefferson's right now. Justin Jefferson's would sound like Dad.
Justin Jeffries.
If I am the Vikes,
oh no,
I'm trading Kirk Cousins. Then you don't have to re-sign him at the end of the year. If you get something for him, because I don't know if it's going to change. I don't know if it's going to change. The Jets are a destiny for him. I mean, that would be amazing if he could step into the Jets and help turn them around. But I mean, you have Justin Jefferson who wants to get paid, and he deserves every single penny. But does he want to get paid in Minnesota? Because if Kirk Cousins does not come back next year, who's your quarterback? And that's where the question comes in. Is JJ the next Calvin Johnson? Amazing talent, but goes nowhere with the team. How are you feeling, Ace?
I don't know if you'll be able to say that, because if he does leave, like, let's say after his rookie contract ends, that'd only be 4 or 5 years that he was with us. Probably 5. He'll play out.
No, but I'm saying if he does end up signing with Minnesota and this just doesn't change.
Long term. I mean, it definitely has. Yeah. Because I think receivers too now athletically decline around 31, 32. So you'd think if unless they got to steal the Packers scouting department in order to get these quarterbacks in the building that can play. I don't know what it is.
Listen, you're in a tough division. Tough division. Lions are 2-1. Jordan Love showed that he can at least, what's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, he fought back against a great defense. He's 2-1. You guys don't have the easiest schedule, obviously. It's just 7 fumbles is a killer, too. 7 fumbles yesterday. The only bright thing going forward.
7 fumbles on the year. 7 fumbles on the year. It's not yesterday. Hold up.
Let me say this. Did you guys, I don't know if you saw it live, but watching it live, the Chargers going for it on 4th and whatever on their 25 when they're up by 4 with like 3 or whatever minutes left.
But a field goal wouldn't have helped them there.
Yeah.
I mean, a field goal would have put up 7. It wouldn't have helped them there.
Yep. It was just a weird.
I understand why they did it, because if they would have got that first down, then they probably would have got a touchdown. But I'm telling you right now, me personally, I'm not touching Kirk Cousins. The offense is fine. It's your defense that has to wake up. You're averaging almost 30 points a game. Kirk Cousins is first in yards. He's first in touchdowns. He's third in passer rating.
3 touchdowns yesterday.
I'm not getting rid of him. It's not Kirk Cousins.
7 yards, 3 touchdowns. This defense. I mean, and you got Cam Akers in the trade for nothing yet. Early in the week, literally nothing.
I'm firing a defensive coordinator. I'm bringing Wade Phillips in.
Wade Phillips.
Wade Phillips is a mastermind genius.
I don't know why they thought this 3-4 scheme was going to work. And by the way, so this year we're at like 4.3 point differential for the first 3. Last year we were at 5, I think exactly. So, and we're 3-0, or sorry, 2-1. So it's not
the end of the world. I mean, you're in a division that's easily winnable. You still haven't played the Lions or the Packers yet. Nothing to worry about.
I think you guys play. No, you think you put. Never mind. That's a lie. Ace, as a Vikings fan, like Ace, what needs to be done here? As a fan, what are you hoping for that changes?
I mean, defensively, I think Chris is on to something. They did not switch on Keenan. They were playing a lot of zone against Keenan all day, and it's like, dude, the guy, like, you got to body him up if anything, or I don't care if he's bigger than you, jam him at the line or do something. But do
you know that Keenan now is breaking records at the age that he is for his own stats at the age that he is? So
my buddy I had this debate right now. This year he's playing top 4: Devontae, Tyreek, JJ, and him. You can't even really throw Chase in there right now.
No, you can't.
So,
and hey, we got to give it to the Chargers. Like I said, Kellen Moore goes over to the Chargers with a fantastic quarterback. I mean, Herbert went 40 for 47. Talk about completion percentage. 40 for 47 with 405 passing yards and 3 touchdowns.
Pressure. Yep, no pressure.
And we throw in the fact that Keenan Allen throws a touchdown pass.
Keenan's pass too. Oh,
Mike Williams
to 2 guys.
Mike Williams tore his ACL. Unfortunately, that's a tough blow.
We've seen a lot of that.
A lot of that. And I truly do. I think the turf is a big issue.
Trayvon Diggs tore his on grass.
Yeah, but statistically, your turf does not give.
I'm telling you right now, these billionaires who have multiple events at their venues are never, ever going to go to grass. Jerry Jones is never going to go to grass because all the concerts and all the games play there. He'll spend so much money on replacing that turf. Or that grass every year. It's never going to happen. Yeah. It's never going to happen. These guys make billions of dollars a year on other events. The World Cup's coming to freaking Texas. There's no way he's going to grass.
Well, we're going to move on here to the Saints versus Packers, which was a very high mix of emotions. Both teams now 2-1. Final score 17-18. I think the most frustrating part about this game is obviously Carr gets slammed to the ground, and his actual team came out and said they're thankful that it was grass and not turf, because if it was turf, that injury could have been worse with how stiff the turf is. Man, do you know the Saints are averaging 4 sacks a game? That's how bad our offensive line is right now. And everyone knew sooner or later that it was going to hurt Carr, and it did. And luckily, he is week to week with an AC sprain, which I'm just thanking God for, honestly. I think Jameis Winston could get some wins with how much talent that is on the team. It's just what I don't understand is this is the same offensive line we've had for the past 3 years, former first-round picks. We have one new guy playing, but it's just like the amount of sacks we are giving up is just mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. Like I said, 17-0 going into the half, going into the fourth quarter, 17-0. Derek Carr played a great first half. Rashid Shaheed is electric on punt return, get a touchdown. Jimmy Graham getting a touchdown pass early in the game. Felt like I was a little kid again when I first became a Saints fan. I mean, it's just like, listen, Derek Carr goes out. Yeah, that's huge. But as a top 5 defense in my eyes, that's all in the defense. You can't blame this game on Jameis Winston. He came in not hot, not prepared. And he led a clutch drive to a game-winning field goal, which we did miss. Our kicker was 6 for 6 before that. Can't blame the kicker either. Listen, 17-0 going into a fourth quarter with an offense of an inexperienced quarterback who struggled to hit targets early in the game, down their best running back, down one of their best receivers, down their left tackle. And we can't make one stop and get off the field, and they come back and score and win the game. Like our defense, it was literally like someone popped a balloon and all the air came out. So this is definitely a game we learned from. You know, whether Carr plays this week or not, we're going to be playing the Bucs at home. Alvin Kamara is back, baby. And on Twitter, Alvin Kamara tweeted this little meme of this guy coming out of jail, and Alvin Kamara's face is on. He's dapping up Dennis Allen and Derek Carr, and it was hilarious. You're adding Alvin Kamara to a team that definitely needs a rush game. We abandoned it early in the game yesterday. Good first half rush, and then they just abandoned it. I just want to highlight Chris Olave real quick. Go ahead, Ace. What were you going to say?
I was going to ask, what do you think Kamara looks like the rest of the year, especially if the offensive line doesn't, they got to be able to run block.
I think with how talented our receiver room is, Alvin Kamara can just, I think it's huge for us. I think he has the upside, even though our offense line is struggling. It's pass protection. Our run game is good when we stick to it. That's the thing, though. The play calling is inconsistent. You know, when we establish the run game like we did against Carolina, it looks great. Mm-hmm. Chris Olave on the year, well, yesterday he had 8 catches for 104 yards. This is 2022 wide receivers that were drafted in the first round. Stats this year, Chris Olave has 22 catches with 302 yards. The next closest guy is Wilson with 165 yards. Dominating this year. Rashid's right behind him. You're seeing Michael Thomas get grabs every so often. I love the wide receiver room. I've never seen a stacked wide receiver this room in Saints history, besides maybe when they had Colston and Lance Moore and Henderson.
If you guys had an offensive line, you'll be dominating that division.
I know.
And that's the problem.
I'm still high. I'm still high in the Saints. I think they're going to get it together. Still have the easiest schedule in the league. I just hope Derek Carr comes back.
Every team has holes yet.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, you're hearing coaches all over the league talk about you're going to have to give us a couple weeks to build this chemistry. And I hope that they can just build it. You know, I hope the offensive line, I saw someone tweet out a picture of Derek Carr on the ground, not moving, the offensive line looking at him. And they were like, they should print out this picture and post it every single O-line's locker right now because they're trash. Averaging 4 sacks a game is terrible. They need to get it together. But this offense still has a lot of talent. Defense has a lot of talent. And I still think we could do good. So I'm excited about it. I don't know if you guys have any thoughts about that. Packers played good in the fourth quarter. I think Jordan Love has established that he can play in this league. I think
he's got nothing to throw to right now with all the injuries they have.
Yeah, and he obviously missed some early throws early in the game, but you saw in the fourth quarter he was able to move the ball and with, like you said, limited options, come back and win the game against a very good defense who struggled, but still a very good defense. I think we talked about it early on in preseason. Jordan Love can be a good quarterback in this league. I think he makes that division better. And I just think you can't sleep on the Packers.
Mm-hmm. Packers have a solid defense. And we saw that earlier before we started talking about making our picks, that the Packers might be a sleeper in that division. I don't think they're going to beat the Lions. I think the Lions are on a different level now. But I just think the Packers defense definitely showed how good they really are up front. Yeah. And that's the thing with this league. There's a lot of teams that are showing up early. Like Tampa Bay with their defense and Baker Mayfield with his offense the way he's playing right now. But will they be there at the end?
The Vikings, sorry, Chris, speaking of that, the Vikings look small up front compared to like other teams that they're playing against. And even like the Chargers offensive line, they got some good guys. I think Rashawn Slater and Lindsley for sure are good on the Chargers. But yeah, they look small. And the
Chargers are last in yards. They allow the most yards.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
And didn't I say that Staley will be the first coach to be fired this year?
He's gonna. It's clearly not the offense. It's all defense.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they're scoring left and right.
Yeah. They held up at the end against the Vikes. I mean, he threw a ball at the end. Cousins did to Hawkinson in the end zone that he rifled, just an absolute dart. Right. It looked like it hit off his hand so fast.
Yeah.
He couldn't hold on to it, got tipped up and intercepted.
All I gotta say is if Minnesota doesn't want Kirk Cousins, man, send him to Dallas. Send him to Dallas. We'll send you Cooper Rush and freaking Dak Prescott.
I'll tell you what he's worth, Ace. I'll tell you what he's worth. If Kirk Cousins comes out this week,
Rudy, Dak and Cooper, you want that for? Sorry, Ty.
I don't know who the Vikes play this week, but if they drop to 0-4 and Kirk Cousins gets another 300-yard passing game with 2 touchdowns and 3 touchdowns, I truly believe you can trade Kirk Cousins for a first-round pick. And if you have the opportunity to do it, I think you do it. I think if you're not going to get anything from him, if you're not going to re-sign him again, might as well get a first-round pick for him and go get a Caleb Williams or somebody.
That's if you get it, because he is older. I mean, he only
you're
has
right.
That's 2 years left.
But you think about Aaron Rodgers, right? I know Aaron Rodgers has back-to-back MVPs. What did they get? Like 2 first-round picks? I mean, you're talking about Kirk Cousins, who's been thriving in passing yards and touchdowns in the past 3 years.
And what did the Jets get out of that? 4 plays out of him, and the old man.
But Kirk Cousins is a lot younger than Aaron Rodgers.
Not by a lot. He's got to be late 30s.
He's my age, I think, mid.
All right, last game I want to talk about, and then I'll highlight a couple other stuff. Is the Bears versus Chiefs, 41-10. We'll talk about the Chiefs, but where do you guys think the Bears are? Number one, I think Justin Fields.
Train wreck.
I can't tell if Justin Fields just isn't getting the proper coaching or he just is just trash. I mean, bust potential. I mean, he had 99 yards passing. I mean, the play calling looks different this year. They're not even letting him run. I mean, granted, when he has time to throw, no guys are open. But man, if I'm a Bears fan, I mean, I don't even know where to begin. I'm thinking in my brain, trade Justin Fields, hope for the best this year. I mean, start firing some people. I mean, it's just, where do you go from here? I mean, every single year, when's the last time you saw the Bears good? Mitchell Trubisky. What'd they do with that? They traded him away.
Dude, what's going on in Chicago? First of all, you hear reports that the FBI
Terrible
raids
week.
the place.
Terrible
then you
week.
hear about the defensive coach who has
resigns.
a nervous breakdown or whatever, resigns. But then you hear some other stuff. Then you hear that $100,000 worth of equipment was stolen out of their practice facility.
Taylor Swift's there to watch them lose.
Then you have Justin Fields come out and ripping all his coaches, basically.
Yeah, dude,
the thing is that team is a mess,
big balls.
Man.
Some big balls to say the play calling's not good.
He won't get a second contract. He'll get his 5th-year option because he was a first-round pick, but he won't get a second contract in Chicago. And the thing is no one's going to trade for him.
I don't know, because I think
maybe
there's
switch
still
positions. Maybe become a running back.
I think there's still possible potential. Like people talk about coaching schemes, and I mean, you think about who he's had there. I'm not saying Justin Fields will be good in a different scheme, but who knows what would have been if he was in Kyle Shanahan's scheme or, other like an Andy Reid scheme. Who knows, right? Who knows? The Bears have been a terrible franchise to ruin quarterbacks the past, 10 years. I mean, when's the last time?
I'm sick and tired of running quarterbacks. I hate running quarterbacks.
Yeah, honestly, he does need to get more accurate with the ball. And I this almost reminds me of when Mayfield was almost in a way getting forced out by the Browns. Some of the play calling just seems suspect. Like you have him in the game at the end. He's running. I don't know if it was a designed run or whatever, but gets hit pretty bad in the head and comes up woozy, finally gets taken out then.
Yeah, who was it? DJ Moore that was waving his arms and pulling him off the field because he knew that he was not there.
It was already a blowout. And why are you so some of those questionable plays and maybe not running them as much either. It's a new group or a new GM head coach. I think they feel like they're somewhat secure. And so not that they're going to hang Fields out to dry, but in a way it's like we're trying to cover up for him maybe in a way because he is so inaccurate. I don't know how accurate he's so inaccurate. I don't know how accurate that is because I don't watch the film.
You know what's crazy?
I don't know what it is.
You know how bad Chicago is? Justin Jefferson now has more career receiving yards than any Chicago Bears wide receiver in their 100-plus year history.
Wow.
That's nuts.
And on one hand, I do feel bad for Fields because you wonder, it's like that wonder you have, like, could he be good in a different scenario, different setting? Like, is the play calling truly bad that your quarterback is coming out and talking about it? You know, I don't know. I mean, they have DJ Moore. I mean, Chase Claypool is okay. I couldn't tell you who their running back is right now, honestly.
I mean, you even have DJ Moore out there before the game on a hot mic, and they're saying they're not using you right. And he goes, I know. You know, the thing is, too, is like he is chucking the ball. His average air time is 12 yards. That's 4 yards higher than anyone else in the league right now. But the thing is he's so used to running for his life. It doesn't look like he goes through his projections. All he does is he looks at his first read and then, boom, takes off.
Yeah, but I mean, also doesn't have a great offensive line to block for him. What's shocking,
I mean,
too,
they had
is
$100 million this year in salary cap.
But yeah, and that's what's shocking, too, is how well they picked up on their defense this year. And I talked about it a lot this offseason. Watch out for the Bears defense. Where has that been? Where has that been? I mean, 41
the defensive
points
coordinator's
yesterday.
getting arrested or whatever the hell he's doing.
Yeah, I do know. Yeah, they're probably on the field a long time too, and you knew this game was gonna be. You knew the Cardinals were gonna play better than the Bears against these teams. As high of the spread these two opponents were, the Cowboys versus and then the Chiefs.
I honestly didn't. I was the one that said that they were going to be the new Detroit Lions.
Oh, God.
No, but what's funny is you look at like almost what Ace is saying. You look at the Bears, right, and then you look at the Cardinals. Cardinals don't Kyler Murray, have nobody on defense, but yet they're still battling every week. And then you look at the Bears, and it's like they're just demolished every week. It's like where's the professional athletes? Like where's the fight? Where's the coaching? Like where is that? Because that franchise hasn't seen that. It's like every year they're the worst team. You
know where it's at? It's in their pocket with all that guaranteed money they get now. Guaranteed money makes you think differently about the game. And I don't care what any professional or any of these famous podcasters say. When you get $149 million signing a signing bonus at signing, like Joe Burrow did, do you think he cares whether he plays again this year?
I think some people do.
Some do. Yeah, you're right. Some do. But football,
like Joe Burrow is pushing through it today. He said, I'm playing. And I know
but I'm just saying, football today, Ty, is a lot different than when I was a kid. When I was a kid, those people, you never saw teams break up. They fulfilled their contract. You didn't see guys 2 years into a 5-year deal saying, I want a new deal. You didn't see all this guaranteed money. You saw people had to earn their money. The problem is sure, you could say they're athletes and everything, that we need them and we need them to stay healthy. But the thing is football's changed, man. It really has. It's a business. It's 100% a business.
Absolutely.
And you're going to see in our lifetime.
You see some of these GMs and ownerships that they don't want to help their quarterback. They want to just continue to get money.
You're going to see in our lifetime, and I can't guarantee it because I don't know, but you're going to see in our lifetime where you're not allowed to touch the quarterback at all.
Yeah.
You won't be allowed to tackle him.
No. I won't watch that sport.
Yeah.
You won't be allowed to tackle him. It's going to be like the Pro Bowl. You put your hands on him, he's down.
Well, okay, earlier this year, I think it was the Vikings versus Philly. Jordan Davis went like this to Cousins, body blue, didn't even wrap his arms, just literally body blue. That's basically kind of what you're saying in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's because it's the public wants to see the deep balls, the 500 yards passing. They want to see what Miami gave them on Sunday, 769 yards of offense.
I don't like that.
I don't want to see a game like that. It's kind of boring in my opinion. I like the close games. Just some things I want to highlight before we do our picks. CJ Stroud, will he be the first Ohio State quarterback to actually be good? He beats the Jaguars, throws for over 280 yards, 2 touchdowns. Will the Texans finally be a good franchise? Obviously, Deshaun Watson was there and they had some good moments. 37 points, though. 37 points.
Defense, man.
Gardner Minshew. Go ahead.
You know what I like, though, is he's not afraid to throw the ball. He throws the ball like 40 times a game.
Yeah,
if you look at that kid, in Carolina,
Bryce Young.
Bryce Young hasn't done anything. And the Red Rocket came in there yesterday and threw for almost 400 yards in the same offense. Thielen went off for 30-plus points in fantasy.
Yeah.
So the offense is there. It's just Bryce Young. He's not comfortable with the offense yet.
Yeah, which will give it time. Gardner Minshew Mania comes in for Anthony Richardson, who's injured with the concussion protocol, I believe it is. They beat the Ravens 22-19 in bad weather. Yeah, Gardner Minshew might be a guy to look for. That keeps the Colts 2-1 and right there for the division. If Anthony Richardson comes back next week, who was electrifying his first 2 weeks, I'm still curious to see what happens to their running back. Will he get traded? I just don't know why he doesn't come back at this point. I know you have a terrible relationship with everybody, like owners. I don't really know the details that happened, but I would want to help this team. But who cares? Because Zach Moss is back and he's dominating. Everyone said bench him against the Ravens, and he goes off. Let's see what else.
Commanders.
Oh, I mean, do we really talk about Bills Commanders? I mean, 37-3. I thought the Commanders would put up a better fight. Chase Young's back. Decent offense, but
they outscored their opponents like 76-13, I think, because they beat the Raiders pretty much by the same score last week.
last thing I will talk about though, Browns defense is legit, holding teams to no touchdowns. 27-3. Deshaun Watson doesn't necessarily look the best. I don't know. No one knows what it is, why he hasn't figured it out yet. I don't know if you guys saw that ridiculous play too, where Amari Cooper juked somebody and they called him out of bounds, and he was like a good foot away from the out of bounds. I just don't understand how that even happens in the NFL.
And you know what the thing is, Ty, is he ran all the way in for a touchdown. Why can't they challenge that and say it was a touchdown?
Yeah, I know.
It just, I don't know.
There's certain things. You know what I was thinking? You know what I was thinking too, Dad? I love watching college football. I don't care what game it is. And one thing I was watching yesterday with the NFL is during the Saints game, like there was a first down, and it wasn't like a 2-minute drill or anything, but it truly does take the refs, like the clock was running. It takes them a good 15 to 20 seconds to set that ball and give it to your quarterback and then they sit there and wait a couple seconds. The clock should stop. Like for 2 minutes in the second quarter and the fourth quarter, like we've talked about many times in college football does it. Because I was sitting there like, dang, man, like a lot of time does go off the clock. Like if you have to hurry up, like there's no shot you're doing this.
Yeah, there was a game yesterday, and I don't remember what game it was, but they lined up for a field goal or a punt or something like that. And then all of a sudden, all 11 players ran to the sideline, and the offense came back on. And the official stood there and wouldn't let them snap the ball because the defense had to make substitution because they were in their punt formation now or field goal formation.
Oh, my God.
And the official stood there and the clock ran out and they got a delay of game for it. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. If they're going to do a trick play like that and they catch you offside like or off balance like that.
Sorry.
The official shouldn't stand there. If the official's going to stand there, the clock should stop.
I agree.
That's ridiculous. And then in the Cowboys game, they called pass interference on Arizona, and then all of a sudden they picked the flag up, and they didn't give an explanation why they picked the flag up. It's just
sounds like got it under control.
Whatever.
Hey, excuse me. Hey, next week's week 4 already. NFL season's flying by right before you know.
I know.
Before you know it, I'll be married, and it will be Super Bowl. Because it happens around the same time. Could you imagine I get married and the Saints go to the Super Bowl? What a great year. What a great year.
That's not happening.
Might make a Super Bowl baby.
I would love it.
That's not happening.
Anyways, hey, Thursday night game. We got a good Thursday night game coming up this week. We got the Lions going in the Lambeau. And let me tell you something. I want to sit here and tell you I want to pick the Detroit Lions because I like Jared Goff. I think they're doing great. But there is something cooking in Lambeau where I have in my gut saying, go with Green Bay. Go with Green Bay. Aaron Jones might come back. I'm picking Green Bay. I think they're at home. It's gonna be a night game. Lambeau's gonna be loud, and I'm picking them. I'm going with Green Bay. Right. There's a good chance the Lions dominate Green Bay. Good chance, but I like an upset.
Is that an upset?
I wouldn't say it's upset. Both teams are 2-1, but this is gonna be a good divisional game. I think you're gonna see I think you might see a high scoring game.
Oh shoot, Ty, did you keep our records?
We didn't pod last week, so I don't know.
Okay, fair.
So this will add on to the next record.
I'm going Lions.
I'm going Packers too, Ty. My reason.
Oh yes,
they get
lone wolf in it, Dad.
Bach
That's
is
all right.
Bach. Bach is Bach.
I think they're finally
Aaron
seeing
Jones.
how good Gibbs is now, and they're seeing how good Laporte is right now. I think that team's rolling. I really do.
Lions are the more talented, but I just think that those guys might bring a little spark plug, and then it saves it, Chris, for later down the season when the Lions beat them.
Mm-hmm. Hey, 9:30 in the morning, we go across the pond, and the Falcons play the Jaguars. I mean, it's a home game for the Jaguars. The past 10 years, I remember the Jags always going to London. Is it London? Right? It is London, right? Yep, Wembley Stadium. Wembley Stadium. I think the Jags bounce back from that loss. I think the Falcons
Jags are a mess.
I think the Falcons are gonna drop the 2-2. I'm taking the Jags.
And I bet the over and not even bet the game. No.
Yeah.
Do you have a pick, Chris? I really don't.
The Jags are going home. They play well overseas. I mean, they usually do win over there. So I'm going Jags. I mean, I need the Jags defense to step up. They got me -4 in fantasy.
I'm gonna go Atlanta. I don't know what the Jags defense weakness is on defense. Maybe it's stopping the run. Who knows? That's their game plan. So maybe they somehow pull out a victory.
Hey, you got the Buccaneers coming into the Superdome. Saints come home after a tough loss. Alvin Kamara is back. Whether it's Jameis or Derek Carr, I feel confident the Saints getting this done in the Dome. It would be something special if the Bucs beat the Eagles tonight, and it's an undefeated rival game where the Saints could knock off the undefeated team. Either way, I think it's going to be a really hard-fought game. Two divisional teams that don't like each other. I'm taking my Saints. They are the favorites. I'm going with them all day.
I'm going to say Saints too, even if Jameis starts. These games usually tend to be close. And they got the upper hand over Brady. So
I think if Jameis starts, it's a revenge game because last time he played the Bucs.
Yes.
So he plays the Bucs, gets injured, then he plays the Bucs and throws like 4 interceptions, and they mock him and laugh on him plane. I think he comes back. Jameis is a great teammate and a great guy. I don't know if you guys see I don't know if you guys see the videos of him. Like he to sit the bench after they sign someone and be there with Derek Carr, after the tough first half of Carolina, high-fiving every single player saying, let's go. He's a great teammate.
I'm going Buccaneers.
All about that W.
I think the Buccaneers defensive line is going to be too much. No matter who the quarterback is. The Saints offensive line is a mess. And I just think the Buccaneers, even though they're getting beat right now in Philly, I think.
Are they? What's the score?
It's 10-3, but Philly's about to score again. They're on the 27-yard line with a minute to go in the second quarter.
Dang.
So I'm going Tampa Bay.
Oh, that's right. That game started at 7.
Yeah. There's 2 games tonight.
Yeah, that's right. Is that going to be an all year thing? Like, what is that?
I don't know.
I don't necessarily like it, but what I do love, I love the 7. I love the 7 o'clock start. I must say, I love that better than and I don't know if you guys have heard the Chris Stapleton Monday night theme song.
Yeah.
So good. Knocked my socks right off.
Carrie Underwood's still the best.
Knocked him right off. Hey, this will be interesting with what happens tonight. The Bengals are currently 0-2, and they will be playing the 1-2 Tennessee Titans, who Tennessee Titans is very interesting. Derrick Henry is not getting a lot of snaps. Tajay Spears is turning out to be the guy over there, especially when they go down early. They're 1-2. I don't know. It's not looking good. I know
163 yards rushing on the year.
Who?
Henry.
He is not the workhorse this year.
Wow.
I'm taking the Bengals. It all depends though, man, because it's gonna suck. I'm gonna take the Bengals and watch Burrow get hurt or something.
They just look defeated on offense, the Titans. So
they're not scoring a lot, right? They scored 3 against the Browns. They scored 10 against the Saints.
No, 15. They have an odd score, whatever. It was less than 20 or 15.
And the Bengals just signed AJ McCarron, who had a great year in the XFL or
he did, yeah.
USFL.
He did. He dominated over there.
I'm going Bengals.
Yeah, Bengals get right game. No matter who starts at quarterback, they may even bench Tannehill this week. I don't know if they have
Will Levis makes the start and wins. What a story!
Him.
I don't know. They said that he's ahead of Levis. They said he's ahead
of Willis.
all preseason. That's what they were talking about.
He's third string right now.
I don't know about that one.
He's too busy putting mayonnaise in his coffee.
Oh man, I don't know about that one.
The Bengals. The Bengals have to get it going sooner or later. You're going to have these top freaking receivers losing their shit. Yeah. You know what I mean? Jamar Chase is already saying, don't come back to your 100% healthy. You don't know when you're going to be 100% healthy. I mean, he's had 7 weeks off before this injury. kick back in again. I mean, he missed all of camp. So it's a soft tissue injury. He's going to have to put some Bengay on that baby and rub it in and go out there and run around.
Hey, we got the Broncos and the Bears, a couple 0-3 teams. I will say the Bears have an amazing fan base who are loyal. Every week being hyped. You know what I mean? I don't know if I could be that fan. I'm taking Denver. I think they get it right.
Quit. Two teams that quit.
One thing I know about Sean Payton is he hates losing. That offensive lineman got interviewed, said he's tired of losing. It's either they win or it's going to get ugly there real quick.
My thing is, who goes first, him or Russell? That's the question out here. Who goes first?
Yeah.
No,
I think Denver wins it. I'm taking Denver.
They have one more year left on that deal before it's like a high.
Dude, that Marvin Mims is amazing. They need to play him more, man.
Yeah, he's good.
Denver too. That's a one I don't think a lot of people are going to be tuning into, honestly.
I think this will be good. I don't know if it's going to be a good game because the Bills destroyed them, but you have the Commanders going into Philadelphia, whether Philadelphia wins or not tonight. Obviously, I think I'm going to take the Eagles. Obvious choice here. Would be really cool to see the Commanders upset them, though. And yes, I do think it'd be a little bit of an upset because even though they're 2-1, I don't think the Commanders are a dominant 2-1. Come on, Ace.
I kind of want the Commanders.
I know you do. Go ahead and say it.
Yeah. Let it Commanders. Why not? They have not looked good, but yeah. No other
I'm going to take the Eagles, but I got something for you guys real quick. The less explosive Eagles. The offense is averaging 9.1 yards per attempt passing this season here. Last year they were averaging over 12.5 yards a pass. Hurts is averaging 8 yards per attempt this season. Last season he was at 8 yards per attempt. This year he's down to 6.5. Last year he was sacked 8.6% of the time. This year it's 12.5% of the time. You know, they've kicked the ball like I think it was like 9 times this year, and I think they're averaging like 4 or 5 punts a game now, where it was only like 2 punts a game last year. It's just the Eagles are a different team, and I think the offensive and defensive coordinator change, all the injuries, and Hurts getting paid. You know, you have that security now. I just think the football is wide open.
I
agree.
I think there's a little more parity too. It's a tough call. Division matchup though too.
Here it is. Here it is, real quick. Jake Elliott attempted 25 field goals all season last year, 1.47 per game. This year he's already attempted 7, 4 over 50 yards, and 3. He's at 3.5 per game. So, you know, the offense isn't as explosive as it was last year. Is my point.
You know, the Jaguars played 2 weeks in a row over there.
Oh, the Eagles missed a field goal. Tampa Bay got the ball back.
Hey, this will probably be. Oh crap! It keeps freezing up for me. This will probably be the game of the week. This will probably be the game of the week right here. You have the Dolphins, who are 3-0, going into Buffalo, who is 2-1. This is the matchup that everyone's been looking for. A good divisional game. This will probably, now that Aaron Rodgers is out of the picture, this will probably be the 2 teams fighting for first place. And it's in Buffalo, and Buffalo is actually the favorite. Here's
Buffalo's
the thing.
Gonna lose by 2 touchdowns.
Here's the thing. I think Miami has one of the best offenses in the league, if not the best offense. I don't think they have the best defense. I'm taking Buffalo.
Is Teron Armstead and Waddle back for the Dolphins? That's my question.
I would imagine Waddle would be back. They're
not going to need Waddle.
I like Tua. Anybody out there that watches on my fantasy team, if you want Tua, I'll offer him up in trade requests.
So Ace is taking the Dolphins. I took Buffalo.
I'm going Dolphins. And let me tell you something. Next gen stats for explosive plays. The first 4 players, actually 1, 2, 3, 4, first 5. The first 5 players are all Miami Dolphins, and they all averaged over 21 miles per hour running.
Jeez.
Yeah. Raheed Shaheed's 7th, by the way.
So number 1, you still Tyreek again was wide open so often in this game. How does that happen?
First play of the game, touchdown.
Bills
He's so
are going to
fast
watch
and
the
elusive.
tape. Yeah, they'll watch the tape against the Patriots and probably mimic that. if they, man up and put a high safety or however you got to do it, they're going to probably watch that because I don't think he did too well there, and it was a low scoring game.
I think Von Miller's back this week too.
That's huge. That's huge.
Yeah.
That helps. That definitely helps.
I think the problem for the Buffalo Bills is they're strong up front, but their secondary's weak. I think they're going to get lit up. I can see them losing by 2 touchdowns or more.
Yeah.
I see them. The problem with playing Miami is they score so fast they make you change your whole game plan.
Yeah, really. McDaniels is great. Not McDaniels. Is it McDaniels?
Yeah.
Mike Daniels. Yeah. Yeah.
Anyways, we have the Rams going into Indianapolis next week. Is Richardson back? Will the Colts continue to win? Are the Rams going to win tonight? A lot of questions. But I'm taking the Colts. I think the Colts have something riding for them. I think Zach Moss is playing well. Whether it's Gardner Minshew or Anthony Richardson, I think their defense, what's his name? Gus Bradley, playing good calls against Lamar Jackson. I think that they could be able to beat the Rams, who not everyone is high on the Rams right now.
Rams got a lot of weapons.
Yeah, and after how Lamar Jackson looked the week before too, as dominant as he looked, and then it just was complete.
I'm going Rams.
I'm taking Ram. No, Jinx. Yeah. Chris.
Wow. Okay,
they got that,
guys.
They got that Pakuna Nakuna, whatever his name is, and they got that running back that's running.
That's your.
This will be
an interesting. 25. He got 25 receptions already, man.
Oh, hey. By the way, the Vikings gave up I think a 4th or a 5th rounder for Cam Akers.
It was I thought it was a 7th rounder.
I think it was a 5th.
I know it was cheap. I know it was cheap.
My whole thing is they don't need a running back. They didn't need Cam Akers. Madison's going to be fine. You know what's sad though is the guy had a fumbling issue and they got all those death threats and all that hate mail and all that stuff. That's ridiculous. I mean, that's like the kid from CSU right over here did that late hit on freaking that Hunter kid, and next thing him and his parents are getting death threats. It's a sport, man. Come on. It's ridiculous. The guy's fumbling the ball. Take any one of those people that are calling in those threats and stuff, give them a ball, let them run through a line and get hit a few times, see if they don't fumble the ball.
That's like fights are at like an all-time high in stadiums right now. It's just so crazy seeing these videos, man, because it's like it is just a game. It is just a game.
You know what? The problem is?
Stop selling alcohol.
Dead serious. You start suing these freaking organizations, and I guarantee you things will change. When you open up stadiums at 8 o'clock in the morning for a freaking late game, that's ridiculous. Ty, security can't. Half the security is freaking older than me. They're retired. They have to come back out of retirement because there's no pension plans or the 401k's tanking. Look, if I was a security guard there, I'm letting them fight until they freaking beat the shit out of each other and then drag them out. But that's the thing,
man. These videos are just gruesome. I mean, just
start
hitting people in the face like there's no tomorrow.
Start suing them and they'll get rid of the alcohol.
Anyways, hey, good game here. Ravens and Browns 2-1, 2-1. It's going to be in Ohio, Cleveland, Ohio. Oh man, I want to take the Browns because that defense is very good. But I'm gonna go the Ravens. I just don't like the Browns offense. I don't like the Browns offense.
It's starting to click though.
No, right.
The Browns offense is getting better, starting to click.
Yeah, and who do the Ravens have? They've had Gus Edwards for a while. Melvin Gordon, we kind of know what he is. Browns. I'm going Browns, even with Chubb's injury.
Lamar Jackson is just a seasoned freaking Justin Fields. I mean, he likes to run the ball. I mean,
that's a lie. He threw over 100 yards. He threw over 250 yards, and he ran for 100 yards. So he does both well.
He's got 32 carries already on the year, Ty. He's got more carries than freaking running backs in the league.
Yeah, but I mean, look at Odell's injured. Zay Jones is young. You have the chance to run.
Odell's not injured. He's dating Kim Kardashian. Okay, he's not injured. He's him and Kardashian are together. He's doing something. He got a sprained ankle from doing something. Okay, but I just think I honestly think the Cleveland Browns are going to win this game. The dog pound's back.
Steelers going into Houston Texans. Steelers just beat the Raiders. But I kind of like the Texans. I like their head coach. Bunch of young guys, young receivers, young quarterback. I like the way that CJ Stroud is stringing the ball. The Steelers have a good defense. Absolutely do. Najee Harris, in my opinion, I don't know what is up with Najee Harris. I just doesn't have the same burst that he had his rookie year in Bama. I'm taking the Texans.
It's their offensive line. That's their problem. Their offensive line's still no good.
I mean, honestly, that's a great call, Ty, because I did not see after the Steelers looked pathetic last week, and now miraculously, I don't know, didn't really watch much of this game against the Raiders. They didn't probably look much. I mean, it was a low-scoring game, didn't look much better. I like that call on the Texans, but I'm still going to lean Steelers.
Everything I do, you're doing opposite, Ace. I see how it is.
I'm going Steelers because of their defense. CJ Stroud, CJ Stroud is over 900 yards passing already, but I think he's going to be running for his life all day.
Yep.
We got the 0-3 Vikings versus the 0-3 Panthers. Who will get the first win of their season? Ace, I'm going to definitely take your Vikings here. I think whether it's CJ Stroud or Andy Dalton, I think the Vikings should be able to pull this win out.
I agree. Bryce Young. Not CJ, but yeah, we know it.
Yeah, Bryce
Young.
I agree
this time. Vikes get her done. Kirk Cousins. Oh, and it's Adam Thielen's reunion. Adam Thielen touchdown.
Oh, yeah. I think if the Red Rocket freaking plays, I think this is going to be another shootout. I mean, he just took it to Seattle.
Yeah. The Red Rocket didn't play bad for New Orleans last year.
And I think they traveled to Seattle, so he went in there and they barely got beat. I think Minnesota wins this game, though. I really do like Minnesota.
2 0-3 matchups. That's just
2 0-3 matchups.
I think they'll get a sack and they'll get a sack fumble. They won't be the one that fumbles this week.
We got the 1-2 Raiders playing the 1-2 Chargers. Obviously, the Chargers have a high flying offense here. It's just a matter if their defense can hold up or not. It's interesting to see how
Jimmy G is going to be out.
Why?
Concussion after throwing 4 picks last night.
That O'Connor kid's not bad. You know, this might be the chance for that O'Connor kid to have a great game, and they're like, you know what, Jimmy, we're sorry.
Huh.
Listen, I'm gonna take the Chargers, but it would be really, really amazing for the NFL if this O'Connor kid came out and just dominated.
I picked the Chargers to win that division, so I'm going Chargers. I think if the Chargers could just get some form of, they're the Minnesota of the AFC.
It's like, look at the weapons on their defense too. It's not like they have a terrible
great
team.
Offensive. Yeah, it just the defense is just.
You can pick. Yeah, this team is frustrating. I'm gonna pick the Chargers. They're a frustrating team to root for. Same with the Raiders. So
Eagles are up 13-3 at the half.
It's halftime already. Dang. All right, a couple more games here. We got Cardinals and 49ers. That's easy. 49ers. Don't even need to discuss that one. What do you guys got?
Cardinals will play hard, but I think
Cardinals will play hard. Wouldn't that be something? Wouldn't that be something? Cardinals
win? I tell you what, the 49ers started out slow last week. They didn't look so real like impressive, but I think if Arizona's front four can get in there and get some pressure on Purdy, you never know. But I'm taking 49ers.
Patriots into the Dallas Cowboys down there in Jerry World. Zeke reunited. Will he have he hasn't done anything yet, but will he have a big running game?
Yeah.
I'm saying I'm obviously taking the Cowboys. I'm sure everyone in Vegas said obviously taking the Cowboys against the Cardinals, but I am taking the boys. Still got a lot of defensive weapons. Still got a lot of offensive weapons. It's just a matter of playing well.
I really think this is a Cowboys get back game because Mac Jones, they should just be feasting at home against him, the defense. But what do I do? A part of me, because I know, Chris, you're probably leaning Cowboys. I want to go I'm
going Cowboys. I'm stuck. I'm stuck there. I think they're going to bounce back. They're not going to play that bad 2 games in a row. No. I think maybe they open up the playbook a little more and get some more passing in there for Dak. And the thing is I'm still waiting for the Cowboys offensive line to come back and play together as a full squad. Going all the way back into last year, we haven't played with our best 5 yet. And so I'm hoping this weekend we do.
Yeah, next Sunday you should be able to get that. Honestly, the Vikings haven't had their full line since week 1. Come to think of it.
It's crazy.
So
it changes everything, because when you throw 3 brand new linemen in there who don't really know the offense very well, don't know the audibles very well, it makes for a bad day.
This would have been a great Sunday night football game if Aaron Rodgers was still healthy. We have the 2-1 Chiefs playing the 1-2 Chiefs. How much longer will Saleh defend Wilson, who obviously isn't getting the job done? A lot of stuff happening on the sidelines. I mean, it's getting pretty crazy there. in the Jets facility. I'm taking the Chiefs all day. Taylor Swift will probably be there. Will probably be the good luck charm.
Yeah, she probably has a concert somewhere. She has to go rest her throat.
Yeah, until further notice, the Chiefs are an auto pick, I think, with the 49ers. This would have been a great matchup, Chris, if the Jets had.
Hey, if Zach Wilson had any magic left in him to prove that he could be a starting quarterback, it would need to happen this game. You defeat the Chiefs and you throw like 300. Have we even seen Zach Wilson throw over 200 passing yards?
No.
I mean, so.
It's just
no.
What is mind blowing to me is how good this team looked. It's like Aaron Rodgers didn't like it's.
They missed.
No, he's not
White.
He's not the
Mike White.
Yeah.
He's not the piece that holds everything together. Like you still are NFL players. You still have a good defense. You still have good weapons, but yet it's just crazy how effective one person was.
Over under number three being the weeks that Wilson is the starting quarterback for the Jets. I say under. I say if he loses this week,
he's done.
Garrett Wilson's losing his mind already.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, you think about how good he is, and that's why I traded him in fantasy.
The fact that this is prime time, they want to the Chiefs should dominate. I don't care where they play this game at.
Yeah, as long as Patrick Mahomes is suiting up,
is 100%.
And they have so many weapons on offense now. I mean, they have like 6 different receivers, not even counting Kelsey, that they can throw to.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they got Reese, they got Sky Moore, they got so many weapons.
It is only one Monday Night Football game next week, going into October, guys. Wow.
Oh gosh, that's
2-1 Seahawks playing the 1-2 Giants. I would like to see the Seahawks win this game and be 3-1, which I think they can. The offense looked great. Wide receivers looked great. They were missing some defensive weapons, but I mean, I just don't think the Giants are the same Giants as last year. I think they have the talent. Mm-hmm. I think they have a good head coach.
And Saquon's hurt again.
It's just I'm taking the Seahawks.
Yeah.
Did you see that? Did you see that meme of Daniel Jones when he's at the offensive line? His eyes were going 100 miles an hour looking at the 49ers defense.
You know, I saw a stat, and I wish I would have saved it, where like teams that travel west to east are below 500.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was just going to ask too, because the Giants played Thursday night.
I think the Giants are going to win this game. I'm going Giants.
I'm going Giants too.
You know what? The Giants really
look at you.
The Giants really do have an awesome receiving.
They do.
Core.
They have a great. I mean, offense. Wide receiver room. I don't know. It's like who's their tight end? I can't think of his name right now. When's he gonna break a big one? You know.
But the problem is they got to get their running game going, because right now they're one dimensional. You know,
I was just going to say
got
that.
A high ankle sprain. They're one dimensional.
It's professional football. Someone step up. Let's go.
So
get the rock going.
you do what Arizona did. Play your safeties back deep, and here beat us underneath. Well, that's right. We'll give it to you all day.
Well, yeah.
Well, those are our picks. If you want to bet money, you can. Take it or leave it. You guys have anything else you want to say?
Yes, 76ers come to freaking CSU next week.
Yeah, I'm not ready for basketball.
I
am ready for hockey, though.
They're going to be literally right here.
Twins
the Sixers are going to be right here. I'm going to be walking down Old Town and looking for a 7-foot black guy walking around Old Town. He's going to stand out and
man.
I'm going to be. I might report from the Twins game, actually, first round of the playoffs.
You should go.
Yeah, I mean,
going to be home against either the Mariners or who else? Chris,
Rangers or Astros?
Rangers, yeah, one of those three. I think.
Well, right now, I think Toronto's still in it,
or Toronto, yeah.
Yeah, so the thing is the Rangers just swept the Mariners, so they have a nice lead in the standings. As a matter of fact, let me pull it up quick. Now the Astros are playing the Mariners, so these are crucial West Conference teams playing each other.
I love it.
Yeah, so right now the Rangers have a 2.5 game lead over Houston, who is dropping like a rock. They're 3-7 in their last 10. And the Mariners are 4-6 in their last 10. So it's looking really, really good that the Rangers will win that division. So pop the champagne.
It's going to be a tough postseason. I just want the Twins to win. If they can win a series, I would be so gosh dang happy. They'd break their stupid losing record.
It would be cool. It'd be cool to see them go far.
Absolutely. Just win the first round, please, you guys. please. That's all we want for the holidays, for the just everything.
Oh, here we go, right here. Tampa Bay is the first wild card team. they're at +9.5, so they're already in. Toronto Blue Jays, they're +2. So right now you got the Astros and the Mariners battling for that last position. The Astros have a half game lead over the Mariners. So I need the Mariners to sweep the Astros. So I want to see if the Yankees aren't going to be in it this year. I want to see the Astros fall out as well.
So because they have the worst, one of those two will have the worst of the records, they would play the Twins because we have the worst division record, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, that is not cool.
Hey,
no, actually, if you're the worst divisional winner, you'll probably get the highest seeded wild card team, which would be the Rays.
Oh, cool.
Because I think the Rangers,
we could beat them.
I think that the top two teams, which I think are Baltimore and the Rangers, would get a bye.
Oh, good point. Yes. Okay, so then I don't know, Ty. We're just blabbling.
So no.
Playoff
Wait.
baseball.
Let's figure this out quick. If the Orioles and the Rangers get a bye, that means the Twins would get the lowest seeded wild card team, which would be the Astros or the Mariners, and the Blue Jays and the Rays would play each other. I don't know.
Hey,
We'll see.
hockey starts soon too. Preseason game started today.
Oh yeah.
Can't wait for that. Can't wait to go to a Panthers game. Might go to opening day, see what we got going. Bobrovsky looks good still. Kachuk, Cousins, we got them all still.
Oh, the Flyers are going to be
That's a good
horrible again.
squad.
It's
Yeah.
a really good squad. I can't wait. I'm actually really excited to go to some more games this year. Hey, what a great podcast. I love dissecting these games. I love that football is back. I'm on fire for football this year. Maybe it's because the Yankees and the Sixers didn't play well this year. I'm just on fire for football this year. We hope you guys love it. We hope you continue to support it. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Can always tell who's running the Twitter account when there is the word effing Dallas Cowboys to get it together. Hilarious. I love seeing it.
Yeah, next week we'll have a clearer vision of the wild card and the playoffs seeding, so we can actually go ahead and pick our winners and who's going to the World Series.
Absolutely.
We'll have to reserve some time too, because I think we have a special.
We'll have a guest. We have a guest next week. Yep.
Folks.
We have a guest. But we love you guys.
golf.
Episode 190. And we'll see you guys next time.
Peace.